2014 was a very interesting year for the media and entertainment industry. Hope came back, there was light at the end of the tunnel. In 2013, as you know, a lot of advertising spends had dropped, and in 2014, immediately after the elections, a lot of spending came back. The television industry started growing again. We're projecting long-term growth to go back to 15.5%. Last year it grew at about 13.8%. Lots of new changes happening within the television industry. New pricing structures have been introduced. Cable digitization is finally taking hold, and there's a lot of activity and movement. We're hoping that all these things translate to greater growth in subscription revenue for the industry going forward. Also, film, the big beacon of the India entertainment industry, Bollywood, etc., took quite a hit in 2014. Just 0.1% growth, and the industry would have actually degrown if it hadn't been for one or two large movies that worked towards the end of the year. So quite a surprise, given that a couple of years ago this is the industry that grew north of 20-25%. Largely dragged down by the Hindi film industry. Tamil and Telugu and other regional markets seem to do pretty well. There is some significant rethinking of business models, I think, that the industry has to do. Talent costs have gotten out of hand. The CNS, cable and satellite revenue market, has receded to some extent. However, with the launch of new channels, etc., that will come back to an extent. But we don't believe the froth that existed in pricing over the last couple of years will really sustain. So some rethinking of business models, I think, is very, very necessary for the industry. The big story this year was digital spending. We had projected about 30-35% growth, but this category just surprised everybody. We estimate that in 2014 this category grew close to 45%. Now that's a phenomenal growth rate by any standards. Digital is now bigger than radio as a category and continues to grow very, very rapidly. And this is largely on the backs of the mobile ecosystem in India. We already have about 115 to 120 million smartphones in the country. Phones are getting cheaper by the day, penetration is increasing, and with 4G likely to be rolled out broadly across the country in 2015, 16, and 17, the headroom for growth in this industry is just unlimited, it seems, at this point. Most estimates project that we go to about 435 billion smartphones in the next 5 years. That's greater than the population of the United States. So it's just mind-boggling figures to that extent. Radio, another category that has been at the background of the media and entertainment industry, is suddenly coming to the foreground this year. Phase 3 radio auctions, which the industry had been anticipating for the last 3 years and consistently been disappointed, finally were announced in 2014. The first phase of auctioning is scheduled for April 2015, and by the time the entire auctioning process is done, a large part of the country will be covered by private FM. And some significant new changes in radio regulations as well. Networking is now going to be allowed. That means that a company can produce programming in a hub and then network that programming across the country. That is a massive change which will result in lots of cost savings and finally some healthy profitability for the radio industry as a whole. Although radio auction pricing is likely to be frothy, prices are likely to be very, very high because of e-auctions, but overall finally a step that needed to get done is finally being done. We're projecting about 18% growth for the industry overall for the next 5 years, and even in 2014 we estimate that the industry grew by about 17%. So overall an excellent year, the beginning of new hope. Subscription revenue likely to fall into place over the next 2 years, which is the largest development for the television industry. Today television is approximately 37% of India's total advertising pie, and print is about 43%. Print again is again 70% dependent on advertising. We estimate that the advertising market will grow about 13-14% going forward, and overall media and entertainment grows at about 13.9%, which is almost double global growth estimates, and puts India in a phenomenal position on the global media and entertainment map. So these were just some highlights of all our research done over the last 1 year. We will be presenting the detailed report and its findings at the FICCI Frames event March 25th at the Renaissance Powai. Hoping to see everybody there and meeting lots of people.